This is Keeson Wilkins, a man facing several felony charges in Dayton, Ohio. Back in 2008, Wilkins was arrested for allegedly attempting to kill a man. He was charged with assault, illegal possession of a firearm, and discharging a weapon into an occupied residence. Choosing to act as his own lawyer, Wilkins took matters into his own hands.
Do you have any witnesses here present today?
No, Your Honor.
When Wilkins requested additional time to prepare his defense, Judge Mary Catherine Huffman wasn't having it.
You've had months to research this matter. This is why I suggested to you that you have counsel.
That's because Wilkins had a history of causing disruptions in the courtroom.
Do not speak out in court again.
Claiming he was being treated unfairly, Wilkins accused the court of lynching him.
Your Honor, would you please ask the bailiff and the sheriffs
No,
to
sir.
just go get a tree and bring it in here,
We are going to take a break.
just miss the hanging, let the lynching, you know, because this is a lynching. I mean, this is a modern day lynching.
Please get your weapons now. It's-
That's what it is.
You are not to speak, sir.
Modern day lynching.
After delaying the trial for 3 straight days, Judge Huffman decided enough was enough.
I have repeatedly advised you, sir, that you will lose your right to represent yourself because of your conduct. Do you understand that?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
Yes, you do understand it.
But Wilkins had one last trick up his sleeve.
She informed me that she had family in another part of Ohio.
She did not provide me with that information now.
While questioning a witness, Wilkins suddenly appeared unwell.
Providing me with that information now.
She never provided with you. Excuse me, hold on a second. Your Honor, excuse me for a second. I need some time.
Then out of nowhere, clutching his chest, Wilkins collapsed onto the courtroom floor.
We're going to take a break, ladies and gentlemen. If you'll please step out.
However, when medics examined him, they quickly realized he was faking it.
On your examination, have any concerns?
No concerns at all. He may need some water.
Judge Huffman remained unfazed,
The defendant is feigning some medical condition.
but Wilkins wasn't done. He slumped over in his chair, pretending to be unresponsive.
It should reflect that the defendant is slouching over to the side and acts like he's sleeping. His breath appears to be quite normal. Doesn't appear to be labored in any way. Is that a fair assessment, sir?
Yes.
Not labored in any manner.
Yes, Your Honor.
Does he appear to be doing anything to you other than sitting in that chair?
No, Your Honor.
That's when a court deputy came up with a brilliant plan.
Oh, a remarkable change.
A strong dose of smelling salts snapped Wilkins right back to reality, and the trial resumed.
Mr. Wilkins, do you have any questions for this witness, sir?
But instead of focusing on his case, Wilkins locked eyes with the deputy. Judge Huffman wasn't buying it and reminded him that his antics wouldn't work.
You've been checked out by trained deputies who are medics. You've been checked out by a registered nurse as well as an emergency medical technician, all of whom indicate that there is nothing physically wrong with you, nor any reason why you couldn't continue here, sir.
She made it clear his actions would not lead to a mistrial.
To make some effort to cause a mistrial, but as I advised you, sir, and as the case law is very clear about, your behavior will not cause a mistrial. It certainly may have an effect on the jury.
Finally, she gave him a choice: cooperate or face the consequences.
Sir, in 5 minutes I'm going to start again, with or without you.
Despite his best efforts, Keeson Wilkins was found guilty on all counts and sentenced to 42 years behind bars. While Wilkins' courtroom theatrics didn't save him, how does it compare to a serial killer collapsing in court? Similar to the case of Anthony Kirkland, who was on trial for multiple murders in Cincinnati, Ohio. On March 10th, 2009, 13-year-old Esme Kenny vanished while jogging near her home. During the search, officers discovered Kirkland sleeping nearby and brought him in for questioning.
You were in this area right here, right around the time this occurred. You remember seeing a young girl, for example. I don't remember seeing that.
Initially, Kirkland denied everything, but once police found Esme's watch and iPod in his possession, he admitted to encountering her. Kirkland claimed he snapped when Esme reminded him of his wife.
Okay, and then what? I dropped it. She wasn't hot to me. She offered me a watch. Okay. And then what happened? I saw my son's mother. What did you do then?
He then revealed the chilling details of the teenager's final moments.
Did you knock her out?
That's when the interrogation took a serious turn.
You punched her, you kicked her, you stomped her. This is a child. It's a young child we're talking about here. You want to play like games? I'm not playing no game with you, man. Well, you know what? She's defenseless. You're cat and mouse with me. I killed her because of my hatred. Well, what does that mean, Anthony?
Eventually, detectives got Kirkland to open up, and he didn't hold back.
What made you kill her? Mary, I'm sorry. I just told her she was just like all the women that can destroy the
Kirkland confessed to assaulting and murdering Esme Kenny.
She told me she wouldn't tell nobody. I didn't believe her. So is that when you choked her?
But that was just the beginning. He then admitted to strangling 45-year-old Mary Jo Newton in 2006 after their relationship turned sour.
Then what happened? Did she die in the van? Yes. How did she die? What happened to cause her death? She told me that death would probably be a good thing. The way her life is.
He also confessed to killing 14-year-old Cassandra Crawford after a random encounter near a high school.
Now, what'd you do? She need me.
And if that wasn't shocking enough, Kirkland had one more confession.
I wasn't honest, totally. What weren't you honest about? Is there more bodies? Is that what you're saying? It was one more. What was the name of the person? She told me her name was Kim.
He admitted to fatally stabbing 25-year-old streetwalker Kim Rollison after an argument escalated.
Actually, she had a blade. She had a knife. So she had the knife. You just turned it on her because she came after you. Right. Where did you hit her? In the throat. And where at the throat? To the jugular.
To destroy evidence, Kirkland set his victims' bodies on fire, a pattern dating back to 1987 when he strangled and burned his girlfriend, 27-year-old Leola Douglas. Kirkland had served 16 years for manslaughter, but this time his sentence would be far worse. He pleaded guilty to killing Mary Jo Newton and Kim Rollison, but stood trial for the teenage victims. Then during his arraignment, something unexpected happened.
Count 4, aggravated murder.
As the judge read his charges, Kirkland suddenly collapsed. After being helped up, the hearing continued, and Kirkland pleaded not guilty. At trial, the prosecution pushed for the death penalty.
Period. And if it's outweighed by the aggravation and you're certain of it and you're sure of it, you shall recommend the death penalty for Anthony Kirkland.
Taking the stand, Kirkland expressed remorse and apologized to the victims' families. He insisted that he was actually the victim and did not deserve the death penalty.
I cannot offer an explanation for my atrocious acts. I understand I have hurt so many people with these horrible crimes. To all the families, friends, and loved ones of those hurt and still hurting from my behaviors, I am truly sorry for your pain.
But despite his pleas, Anthony Kirkland was sentenced to death.
We therefore unanimously find that the sentence of death should be imposed upon Anthony Kirkland, as signed by all 12 jurors, including the foreperson.
While Kirkland will pay the ultimate price for his brutal crimes, what happens when a murderer faints in court? Like in the case of 18-year-old Shyheim Adams, who was charged in the fatal stabbing of a teenager in Enfield, Connecticut. In the early morning hours of September 2018, police discovered 16-year-old Justin Brady's body in a front yard, riddled with stab wounds. Reports stated that Adams fatally stabbed Brady after the two arranged a fight through Snapchat messages. Adams was taken into custody and charged with first-degree manslaughter and evidence tampering. But in court, the reality of his situation proved overwhelming. Adams collapsed, visibly breaking down, before losing consciousness, sparking angry outbursts from the victim's supporters. The courtroom erupted in chaos, forcing deputies to clear everyone out. Eventually, officers restored order, and multiple arrests were made. After going to trial, Adams was acquitted of all charges 3 years later, and the case was dismissed.